But yeah, one of the interesting things we see is that, you know, definitely technology adoption, smartphone adoption, all that stuff continues to increase, and yet uh, the applicant pool, a lot of the applicant pool is not a reliable like user of a smartphone, and relying on them to be able to use a smartphone is going to lead to you sort of cutting out a lot of the market, which is part of why we are such strong advocates for utilizing text messaging as the core kind of base method of communication for applicants and employees in y'all's businesses, because it's a medium that uh, connects everybody. Like basically everybody has access to text, whereas not everybody necessarily can download Indeed mobile app onto their phone and be engaging with employers there. So definitely see thinking about technology accessibility as being a pretty important factor with this workforce.
Can you explain a little bit? So I really don't know this because Jessica on our team handles all of this, but
Sure.
without a centralized process to text message candidates, I mean, maybe just the easiest way is how does Team Engine enable? We've got Indeed, we've got all these places coming in, and then we're text messaging. How does your platform handle that communication?
Yeah, so we tie into all those different platforms, whether it's Indeed, ZipRecruiter, Facebook, um, Craigslist, and if we post the jobs that you guys post to Team Engine to those platforms. So rather than going and like posting a job in each different place where you want to have a presence, and then posting all your other like 7 jobs, and then keeping them consistent in terms of like the job description, pay, and all this kind of stuff whenever you make changes and stuff. You just put that in one place, and then we make those changes and put those job postings in all the different places. And then that goes so far as to also, put the jobs onto your careers page on your website. Um, we give you a QR code that you can throw on a magnet or on a truck wrap, put those on vehicles or business cards, so to capture sort of that offline element, the idea at the end of the day, getting all the applicants from whatever that source might be into one place. So you're reviewing them as a single kind of queue of applicants versus having to go into all these different buckets to find folks. And then what we find is that uh, just like the text message format at the top of that funnel, so like early on when you first get an applicant, somebody comes through and applies, is by far the most effective way of opening up a conversation with an applicant, because rather than calling an applicant from a number they don't recognize, them not picking up the phone, them not having a voicemail set up, or having a voicemail that's full, and so you don't actually get somebody, or you sending an email to them, they never check their email because that's not their preferred method of communication. Having that text go out to them can be really effective to facilitate the phone call in-person interview. And by having it in the software, all those different applicants can basically be run through the same playbook and receive an automated text at a certain point, at the beginning, in front of an interview, whatever the case may be. But then also you as a user of the software can jump in and manually on demand communicate in text with those folks as well. So when we see folks who may have some of this process in place, but not the text, what we typically see is that they have somebody on the team who is using a personal phone or a work phone to text applicants. Like if they figured out that texting is actually effective, they go and they do it on their phone. But then if it's a personal phone, you have all this like hiring and HR stuff that ends up on this personal voice device, which is a bummer from a compliance standpoint, but then also from like an operational team visibility standpoint, it's also a bummer because you don't have nobody else can see that. But hiring is a team sport. You typically have somebody posting a job, screening, somebody else reviewing applicants, interviewing them, making a hiring decision depending on the organization. And so we break down that silo so that you get all these applicants in one place, all their communication and communication history in one place across the entire team. So that's a lot where a lot of the the leverage and benefit from our platform comes, especially at the top of the funnel.